welcome to Passion for Truth Ministries. I'm Jim Staley. Today we have an exciting subject. I get an enormous amount of emails and a lot of phone calls, and people have been asking me to do this teaching for 6 years now plus. So every year I say I'm going to get around and do this teaching, but this is the year to teach on the Sabbath. So for whatever reason, the Lord is having me do this, and I'm excited about it. We're going to work through a lot of scriptures. We're going to determine at the end of this study what the Sabbath is, what it means for us today, and how do we keep it if we're supposed to keep it. So let's get started today talking about the Sabbath and work through the scriptures and see what they have to say. First of all, there are several questions that we'll need to answer. Number one is, does God even care? Does he care about the Sabbath whatsoever? Number two, who is it given to? Number three, why was it given, and how long was it to be given for? We'll also be talking about several myths about the Sabbath. Number one, what is the prophetic symbolism? We'll also be talking about that. Why don't we keep the Sabbath of the Bible today, and was it really changed? And then if it is for today, how do we keep it? I know that many of you will be thinking to yourself, you already have, some of you Bible students already have verses in your head in the New Testament that you're familiar with that seem to say that the Sabbath is done away with, that we don't have to keep it, that it's not relevant for today, that it was only for the Old Testament or for the New Testament Jews. So I'm going to bring these up right away so you know that we're actually going to cover every single one of those. So if we could go back to the screen, one of the ones we're going to cover is Colossians chapter 2, verse 16 says, "Let no one judge you for food or drink, new moons or Sabbath." We're going to talk about that. Romans 14:6 we'll talk about. Whoever observes the day observes it for the Lord. 1 Corinthians 16:1 we'll talk about, where Paul takes up a collection for the saints in Jerusalem on the first day of the week. And in Acts chapter 20, verse 7, where Paul's preaching on the first day of the week. A couple other ones we'll be talking about is Revelation 1:10, when John had a vision on, quote, the Lord's Day. We'll find out exactly what the Lord's Day is, and is it referring to Sunday. And then also, lastly, Galatians 4, where Paul talks about not going back to the elementary principles of the world.
Come and join us as we travel back in time 4,000 years ago to discover exactly where the holidays of Christmas, Easter, and even Valentine's Day come from. Why do we celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th? Whose birthday really is on December 25th? Where did we come up with December 25th? Where did the star on top of the Christmas tree come from? Where did the Christmas tree itself come from? Where did St. Nicholas come from? Are we sure that St. Nicholas even existed? Have you ever wondered where the famous phrase, ho, 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 comes from? It comes from the late 1600s when they used to have plays, and before the devil would come on stage, he would announce himself by saying, ho, ho, ho. Did you know that original Santa's elves weren't little guys that made toys? They were Krampus demons that would punish the children if they weren't good for that year, while St. Nicholas would give them gifts if they were good. Who is the Easter Bunny? Where did we get Easter eggs from? Why do we celebrate Easter on the first Sunday after the vernal equinox? Did you know that Christmas was illegal in the United States until the mid-1800s? Can we celebrate these holidays according to the Bible? This is by far the most popular video on the internet on the history of Christmas and Easter. This video has changed hundreds of thousands of people's lives, and it will change your life too.